Every once in a while, I feel the need to let more light in. There's something about fresh air and bare windows. That is how I woke up feeling today. So, what did I do? I removed my previously bulky curtains. I love them. They're white and they have these beautiful white shears, but I feel like I need to let in the light. I feel like I need to invite more of my outdoors in the living space. After removing the curtains, which I need to take for laundering at some point, the next obvious thing to do is clean the windows, because when you remove your curtains, it makes it obvious that your windows are not as clean as you thought they were. So that's the next thing I found myself doing, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Cleaning windows to me is usually very symbolic. I feel the need to see clearly, even if what is outside is seemingly ordinary. I spent a lot of time here, being as thorough as possible, and every day immersing myself in these home chores and putting my house in order bring me so much satisfaction. They are chores that do not need to be timed. You just flow with the vibe. You immerse yourself in the moments. Cleaning is therapy for me. Offers me an escape from the reality, and I withdraw inward to my thoughts and let them breathe. I give my ideas life during cleaning. There's also something interestingly beautiful about a change of curtains or whatever accessory, really. Sometimes it just feels like you created a whole new space by just changing one item. For some reason, the rooms feel more spacious, more airy, more open. I feel like they encourage a conversation. I feel like my thoughts are freer. Do you enjoy cleaning? Is it symbolic to you as well? Do you have those moments when you crave a change in your home, and sometimes rearranging furniture or changing accessories here and there is all the magic you need to feel alive or feel like your space is speaking to you? Well, if you're like that, then we're so similar. Yesterday, when I was out, I bought new plants. That comes as no surprise, especially if you've been here long enough. I'm a homemaker who enjoys gardening so much. I can't wait to put the new plants in the soil. As always, every morning I have to walk around my garden, say hi to my plants, listen to what they're communicating. And since it's January and we're in the mango season, and you guys know how much I love mangoes, I choose to indulge myself, take in and immerse myself in nature as I enjoy a very, very, very juicy mango. What's your favorite fruit? What does it do to you? Because for me, mangoes are just not something I eat. It's a whole love language. It's so windy this morning, but weirdly, It's windy and hot, very hot. The air is dry. The heat is crazy. The sun is scorching. So you can imagine how hot it is, bearing in mind that we live in a semi-arid area. This is Kajiado in in Kenya. It's in the outskirts of Nairobi, really. So I decided to move my plants, the new ones, from the front of the house because that experiences a lot of direct sunlight, and brought them to the back where I can, shade them until I'm ready to pot them. I have a surprise for you guys. I've been working on something. It's not perfect yet, it's not complete, but yeah. In honor of my late grandfather, who passed on about a month ago, I got the inspiration to create a reading nook in my home. Somewhere you can chill and just read a book. He used to love reading. He has a lot of books back at his house still. So I figured if anyone needed their me time or needed to read or sometimes even cook, sometimes I cook from here, then this would be the spot for it. I threw in some Ankara prints on the cushions to give the space character. Believe it or not, the day was almost over and it was already time to make dinner. So come with me, let's go make dinner together. I hope you're enjoying this vlog. So we're having pilau for dinner. I want to show you how we make pilau. Come. So here are the ingredients. Very simple meal to make. We need a lot of onions. That's the major thing to take note of when making pilau. We have meat. Meat, ideally, you can either use chicken, goat, lamb, whatever you prefer. I hear even people make fish pilau. I've never tried, but yeah, it's possible. It's a thing. Then here we have ginger and garlic. Pilau masala. This is the main thing after the onions. Lots of onions. Salt, of course. So let's get it going. Oh, we forgot something. Give me a minute. Voila! This is the main ingredient. Pilau is a rice dish. You can use whichever is your favorite rice, but long grain rice is recommended. So let's do this. So first thing to do is wash the rice thoroughly. It comes with a lot of starch. We need to wash off that as much as possible. And little dude here is helping with that. Do harder. Yeah, you want to remove all the starch. And guys, remember we don't pour that water into the drain. This is very good food for our plants. So I usually use this rice water on my plants. So you have to wash the rice thoroughly, even 3 times if possible, so that you can get rid of as much starch as possible, because what starch also does is that it makes the rice so sticky, so you end up with mushy rice. So the water is clear or almost clear. All round. These are geraniums and a caladium. I look at them every day. Don't finish for that plant. Ikiwa tayari, nitakupa ya kuonja.
So give me the taste.
I'll give you, but not yet. So basically, you use 1 cup of pilau masala to 2 cups of rice.
1 cup.
1 spoonful, sorry. 1 tablespoon of pilau masala for 2 cups of rice. So I usually put a little water so that it doesn't burn, because you want to infuse the flavors. You want the flavors to come together. So I put a little water.
And to also add some stew.
Not stew, because water. So this is just for the ingredients to come together. So we'll cook this down to simmer when it's dry. And now we shall go to the next step. So this is how it should look. The oil should be able to separate, from the rest of the ingredients. That's how you know it is ready for us to go in with the rice. In the meantime, I don't like bones in my pilau, so I'm going to remove them. And someone who's behind the camera is going to enjoy these chunky pieces of meat, and they're so flavorful.
Please put some stew.
Remain that ready.
Yep.
Yeah, look at that. We go in with the rice. We wash it early so that it can be
White.
dry. Rice is usually white.
But it looks more
White. Yeah, I guess so. I guess you're right.
Or even, yeah, it just looks more white.
So you're mixing like this. Gently mixing like this. You see that? Reduce the heat. Reduce the heat. You cover for say 3 minutes, then you'll come in with the water. That's 3 cups of rice, but you cook using very little heat. Should have something like that. I want them to see our pilau. It looks nice. So I usually use this so that the rice what is the word? Like comes out separately. Well, that's direct translation from Kiswahili, but I hope you understand because we don't want to mash it. Okay? So that's our pilau. Now let's plate it for the young man. It's too much meat, man. You're gonna eat all of it.
Mm.
Is that enough?
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm.
Okay, let's put some here. So, most Swahili people have their pilau with a banana on the side. So this is our dinner. We are past the 2000 subscribers mark. We are, I think, 2016. To the newbies, welcome. This is home. I love you. I will definitely see you on the next one. And please kindly keep sharing our content to your family and friends. Leave comments. I love reading from you. So here we usually say it's not goodbye. It is see you soon again.